Okay, it's 6 o'clock on Monday, December 16th. I'd like to call the meeting of the Permanent Building Committee to order. All members are in attendance. We have two guests, actually, I don't know if she's a guest or liaison, but we have Bruce Snyder, and we also have George Haast. I guess the first thing we should do is approve the minutes. Are there any additions, deletions? The minutes from October 17th?
I'll make a motion to accept them.
I'll second.
Okay. Motion made, so all those in favor, raise your hand. All those opposed, thank you. Second of all is correspondence and mail. I received no correspondence or mail, other than the vouchers and stuff that I get through the town that I co-sign after Steve approves them. As far as the chair's report, it's gonna be very brief. First of all, we had the ribbon cuttings for both buildings. They were very successful. We had good attendance here. We actually got to fill up the selectmen's meeting room, and we overfilled the big room at the senior center. So they went off pretty well. We had the local dignitaries there and everybody else, and I guess I'm supposed to apologize to the board, except for Mark. At the town hall meeting, I forgot everybody's name, so I apologize publicly. Second thing I want to talk about is there was a newspaper article this last Sunday about senior centers in the region. Norton was very prominent in it. Norton actually got probably a page and a half of the news, quoting Beth and Ruth about how happy they are, and Beth saying that the numbers probably doubled from what she used to have, and they're getting a couple of programs. They have to limit the people because they have too many people, so that's some positive news. Plus, they finally put a new picture of the senior center, and not the hypothetical one is in that article also. So that's all I have. I've been attending the Tuesday meetings pretty regularly. I was on vacation for 2 weeks. We were supposed to have a meeting in November, but somehow it didn't get posted, so we never had the meeting, so I didn't miss anything. So other than that, I guess we'll move, if there are any questions or additions or deletions from anybody. Okay, we'll move on to Steve and his report.
Okay, thanks, Jim. Mark, am I showing up on the waiting?
I'm sorry. I don't know if
You're showing it to me because,
It shows that I am in the waiting room,
in the waiting room, they didn't let you
waiting for
in?
host to start the meeting.
It says it's being recorded.
there.
No, he's not this,
Are
sorry.
you the host or someone at?
I'm not the
town hall
host, the town's the host.
It says Town of Norton 2. Personal meeting.
I don't think I have the
So
lobby
who's
here.
at the town hall? We're here, go find him. Let us in.
Don't know, Steve.
Okay, well, good thing that we have the handouts. I'm just gonna log off then.
Yeah, I don't know how to get you in, out of the lobby.
That's okay.
I'm not the host.
Whoever that is should let him in.
That's weird.
Can you message that person?
Did you log off yet?
I'm off, yeah. So, okay,
All right.
so let me do the OPM update. Starting with the senior center. So as Jim said, we missed the November meeting, so the last meeting we had was October 17th. Seaver's progress on construction up to this point, right now they have reduced the punch list to 5 items out of the 386 that are started. They got about 1% remaining, and those items are the kitchen cabinet touch-up, the repair/replacement of window screens, verifying that the sidewalk finish is acceptable. The last few times that we've been on site, it's been raining, so we couldn't look at it. Also, the sidewalk sealant and the lawn, rain garden lawns, also, which is an item that's going to move into the spring. Lawns have been reseeded, but they hadn't germinated, so we're gonna, again, review in spring. The HVAC commissioning was completed, exterior lights were programmed, closeout has been submitted, warranty items are being addressed as they arise. The Nelson Family Tribute Shadow Box was installed in the lobby, and as Jim said, we had the ribbon cutting on November 15th.
Okay, Bob, before you sit down, there's, okay.
Oh, thank you.
So, photo documentation is pretty quick, just a couple pictures of the ribbon cutting ceremony. Close-up view of the members, and then an action shot of the ribbon getting cut. So Seaver's schedule, look ahead, complete the punch list items, weather permitting on a couple of them, complete the remedial work on the concrete sidewalks, and establish the lawn growth in the seated areas in the spring of '25.
She made me co-host, so if you want to try on again to share your presentation. So I should be able to let you into the lobby? Maybe. Well, once he tries, it should come over here.
I'm gonna have to type in the entire,
Do you have it?
I have it, but you want me to do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not in your,
You can't click on it.
no, it's not in your history?
Yeah, just stop typing, it should auto-fill.
Yeah.
You really should.
You can sing while we wait if you want.
Yeah, you don't want to hear me sing.
You need like music on hold.
Yeah, that's right. Elevator music. It's funny, I was at Big Y the other day, and they were playing like, I don't know what playlist they were playing, but it was like, all 80s rock, and I'm like shopping on, this is my kind of music, man, and walking around the store.
As he's
They're playing,
throwing
like,
cookies.
AC/DC,
You need the right
White Snake. I
demographic.
was like, who's putting this on? I'm like, yeah.
Okay, I'm back in the
Wait room,
waiting.
Okay, how do I let them in?
go back to where you were.
I don't know.
Go up to,
You usually get a notification. Yeah,
Usually it'll pop up.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
go up to maybe attendees or something.
Is there a lobby?
Participants.
Yeah. Is there a lobby somewhere?
No.
Go to more,
Go to more.
next to leave, not down the bottom. Hit more. Maybe in there.
Recording.
I mean, he may not be the only
Whiteboard.
one waiting to get into the meeting. It could be people from the public also.
Sorry, everyone.
No meeting for you. Oh,
Technical difficulties.
Well,
The
they stand
hostess
by.
should be getting
I mean, we're
this
using
one.
the same
link, yeah.
link, right? Off of the, off the minutes, yeah.
Who's on the other end?
Okay.
You don't see anybody?
Nope.
I don't see her.
There's usually a lobby.
I don't have to tell you.
Oh, well, okay, keep going.
Well, don't log off.
Well, this is the,
In case she fixes
this
it.
is like the new Zoom anyway, so every time they change something.
Well, I'll
it
apologize
gets
that
messed
the
up.
public can't get in, but
Okay, it should be the green button at the bottom of the screen. That's the share, though. I'm not the one sharing.
Next other one. Minimize, maybe? Maybe you can't see it, maybe it's off to the side or something.
Minimize what?
Yeah, that one, hit, no, that one, yeah, hit that one.
We usually get an alert to let people know.
Yeah, there's nothing behind that.
No.
No,
I just didn't get out myself, did I?
nope. on the right.
All right, keep going, Steve, sorry.
Okay.
I'll text you.
Worth a try. So, other senior center issues? Question?
No, yeah, punch list, that was where we left off. Oh, sorry.
Yep. I think I've established along growth of reseeded areas in the spring of 2025.
Yep.
Other issues, the audiovisual, so the shop drawings have been reviewed by both the Centec and the town for comments. It was Ray Cord. We've sent those comments back to Pro AV to make sure that they're clear on those comments, and expect to get a date on when they'll be in to put the monitors up on the wall. And I'm hoping to get that back from them this week. The digital sign, sort of recapping from last meeting, we received 2 quotes for the digital sign based on specs that were issued by the town, and that was from Signs by Tomorrow and Signorama. However, there was a town electronic sign bylaw that actually reduced the square footage, the face square footage of the signs to 16 square foot maximum. So I sent, and there was a number of other things, programming things. I sent those bylaw requirements to these 2 sign companies. I've received 1 quote back from Signs by Tomorrow and expecting Signorama this week. And they're in the $30,000 to $40,000 range. Warranty issues, there is a sort of a lingering or recurring warranty item regarding the hot water heater. There's been multiple calls for no hot water. Originally it was a manufacturer part issue. Vertex, I spoke with the plumbing contractor, stated this past Friday he was having issues with the distributor, but he had contacted the manufacturer direct, which is PBI, and they noted the parts on order. And I also had sent a notice back after the 3rd or 4th time that we had no hot water, that the town is close to wanting the entire unit replaced. Late this afternoon, we got an email from the distributor who's saying that they can't honor the warranty because there was an installation problem. So now we have another project to untangle for the senior center, which Ed and I will get address, and you've already contacted the mechanical engineer. In one way or the other, whether PBI, who's the manufacturer, or Tower Hill Sales, which is a distributor, whether they honor the warranty or not, the warranties comes from the contractors. So if the hot water heater continues to fail, it'll have to come out. Right now, my understanding is that the plumber's been pretty good about coming out. I want to say that. And my understanding right now that it is repaired again. But the problem is we don't know how long that's going to last.
What's the part issue? What part is it?
Well, one was the igniter wire was one item, and they've had 2. And one thing was a recall on a part, which they came out and replaced.
The burner, I thought.
The burner, yes, yeah. So there's a couple things that have gone wrong with it, and now they're sort of in an argument that's involving us, but the problem is it involves the use of the senior center, because you can't use the senior center without hot water. Even if you wanted to, Board of Health won't let you do it.
Chairman?
Yes.
About the hot water heater, if it needs to be replaced, have they got one there that they can replace it with?
Probably not.
No.
Is there anything special?
I'm sure it's not off the shelf.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not your residential hot
Yeah.
water
Hi.
heater.
This is, you have this one. She says you aren't logged in to the right one.
Oh, I think I exited
Did you
the,
exit?
this is the, this one right
Same
here.
one. Yeah,
Yeah.
He said to type it all in because he said the link wasn't working.
I don't know. Technology.
Sorry, so, yeah. It would have to be something that would have to be ordered.
I mean, they come down, like you said, they come down, it works all right for a while, and then it stops
Right,
working.
right. So it's a work in progress, I guess.
The only bad thing about it is if they don't, if it has to be replaced, they don't have one. Then what do?
You have to wait for anyone to come in.
Well, I mean, yeah, this isn't something like you can go to Home Depot and pick one up. It's not a residential, not something that, I mean, maybe there's one sitting on a shelf in California,
Someplace.
but it's not down the street. It's a commercial
Yeah.
unit, and it's got a number of electronics involved in it, too.
Yeah. It looks like a brand new model, too, so I've never seen anything like it, yeah.
So I just wanted to give in, I had it in my presentation, but the update that we got at 3 o'clock this afternoon is
Is it a tank?
added.
Tank?
No, it's tankless.
What's it direct?
Tankless.
Source. Is it tankless?
I think it's tankless,
No,
isn't it?
you've got the units inside them, in the
Yeah.
mechanicals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on.
So, and then the last issue on the senior center contract closeout. They have initial discussion between the town, Ed, myself, and Seaver's management team regarding closing out the contract, which was held last week. We do have to have some follow-up meetings with them. It was just an initial meeting. And they are noting that the permanent power startup and the data pole installation dates caused them delays. So we're going to have to respond to what they provided to us at that meeting and have follow-up meetings with Mr. Seaver and his team.
Okay, anything else about the senior center?
Yes.
Bob?
I have a list of items that need to have some attention. So I'd like to make a copy for everybody. And a lot of them you probably know about, but there's a number of them that haven't been fixed yet. So I'd like to make sure they get addressed here shortly.
Do you want to read that list? Because
I can, I'll give you a copy too.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. And,
That looks like a big list.
It is a big list, it certainly is, yeah. And if it was our house, which it is our house, you wouldn't accept it. I wouldn't. But anyways, I got a
Well,
list.
The
man.
key is, do we know about them? That's.
I don't know if you know them all,
Yeah.
that's why. I
So
put
let's pass out the list and let's go down the
Yep,
list.
let's address it.
it over there.
Don't be discussing something we don't have in our hands.
Sorry.
Oh, it's big type, good.
Okay,
It's big
you
type.
have the floor,
That one
Bob.
is bad.
Okay, the list, I'll go over it. The first thing I put down here is we need to have an estimated time to repair these. We can't let this go on and on and on. It seems like it goes on and doesn't get fixed. So I just, I'll bring the list back every meeting we have and review it with you, and we'll see what we come up with. But the door handles on some of the doors, and the doors need to be checked, because the door handles in the back, where the material rolls over, there's
Yeah.
a sharp piece on the back.
We are aware of that, and those are on order with
He
Seaver.
sent an email today.
Do they know how many need to be replaced?
Yes,
Okay,
Yeah, because
hold on.
I think.
Brian sent an email today. They got delivery dates, but they don't have when they're gonna be received. So, replacement levers are shipping from the factory tomorrow. Replacement core cylinders are shipping on 12/26. Electric lock is expected to ship on 12/31. That is not when they're gonna receive them, those are the dates they ship. And he said he'll get back to us once they know the delivery date to schedule the installs.
So was it like a factory defect or something?
Yes.
Do you know how many there are, Bob?
there's a number of them that have tape on them. I don't know if the other ones have been checked or not, but I think they need to all be checked to make sure they're okay.
They were closets and they were mechanicals. It was the knurled
Yeah, I know. what it is.
handle, but
On the back of
they
the-
became almost,
They were very sharp,
yeah,
yes.
they were,
The sewer material was rolled, must have been rolled. when it was
Yeah,
made.
it's just manufacturer defect.
yeah.
On the recreation room, pool room, if you will, the door that comes over to the main big room, that door will not close on its own. That door will not latch, you let it close, and there's something holding it. You get down and look and see what's holding it. At the bottom, there's a metal strip that goes across the bottom of the door. And it
Reducing
looks like
stress
it's all
probably.
bound up from a screw or whatever, it hasn't been aligned properly. So it needs to be realigned and fixed.
Okay, that's a new one that I was not aware of.
The warranty items.
Yep.
Yeah,
Also, there's a bulletin board in that room that's damaged, needs to be replaced.
That's
We need to
new.
Take a look at it.
do you know what the damage is?
No, not what the damage is. You already talked about the hot water, so we won't.
It's a warranty,
deal with
yeah.
that. In the kitchen, the lower cabinet door. If you open the lower cabinet door and you open the top drawer, it binds up on the door you've opened up on the bottom, so.
So
the
it's
door-
hinged uphill,
Huh?
it must be swinging
Yeah,
uphill.
it's just
Okay,
adjustment,
so
needs to
that-
be adjusted.
It's a hinge adjustment,
Yeah,
yeah.
That's
so
also
it's on a
new.
couple of the doors need to be taken care of.
Deep scratch,
Yeah, on the,
Or-
one of the cabinets in there.
that's on your list, right?
Yes,
It needs to either be, well, you know, it needs to be either
Yep.
redone or replaced. The water filter. Now, the water filter, with the ice machine, if you need to change the filter, the people that are in the building can't change it. Because I guess the valve, which we were guessing, we even climbed ladders yet to go look, but there's no shut off. You know, anyone, I just don't understand when people are putting something together like that, they don't think about that.
shut-offs above the ceiling.
Yeah, that was confirmed.
But does that make sense to you? Because people there, you know what we're gonna have to do? We're gonna have to take and call a plumber to change a stupid filter.
No, you need to call Chris.
Yeah, it's Chris Anna.
That's why they want it up there, so no one else will do it.
Come on. That's not, yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. That is absolutely crazy.
He's your maintenance.
I'm just telling you, that I wouldn't accept it if it was mine, okay?
Mhm.
Paid $11 million for that building, $9 million or whatever it was, and that's not right. Not right, okay?
Is that just so that Chris is in charge of it and no one else can tamper with it? Is that
Yes.
what?
Yeah.
Who's gonna tamper
Same
with
as
it?
access to the attic.
Brian, who's gonna tamper with it?
It's just, it should only be him, I think that's
Hold
the
on.
point, yeah.
George?
Just that, I understand the valve for that water line coming down is up in the ceiling. So every time you want to change the filter, you have to disturb that T-bar ceiling tile. Eventually, it's going to show wear and damage. It needs to be accessible. Also, that same valve needs to be protected with a water hammer arrestor, because that machine shuts off quickly, like your washing machine. And by code in the state of Massachusetts, plumbing code, it requires that water hammer arrestor.
Yes, you don't get that boom, boom,
Right,
boom,
so-
yeah.
so it's it.
Yeah.
And, if I may, continuing on with that feed to the ice maker, it needs to be secured to the wall, not just flopping around in midair. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. We satisfied? You've got the complaint?
Yeah, got the complaint.
Okay, move on, Bob.
It's not really a complaint. It's really something that needs to be done.
The item, okay.
The emergency, there's two emergency shut-off knobs that are in the kitchen. And I don't know what they shut off. I don't know if it's all the electricity, if it's gas, if
It's
it's
the
whatever.
shut.
I don't know what it is. It doesn't say what it is. But anyway, the one when you come in from the big room, the door, and you look at that, it's right down by the bottom of the shelf. Okay, the shelf. And if you put anything, there's been stuff put there, you know what I mean, like people working in there and put a box there or whatever. When that's covered, you can't see it, right? It needs to be at eye level so you can see it, so that if you have to use it, then you can shut it off. In the other end, where the other one is, it's in another cove over there, not over by, where you can really see it and get at it quick. I mean, those are, again, are things that need to be readily available, so that if you gotta shut them off, you can shut them off.
Are they surface mounted or are they, is the conduit in the wall?
It's in the wall, it's been put in there that way.
It's coming down
But-
easier, but,
But I say that a lot of the things that are wrong here, if I was somebody working on that, and I had to put my name on it, I would be ashamed to put my name on it. Because it's all about paying attention to detail. But anyway, that's what it's about. They shouldn't have been there. This is safe.
Ed,
That red thing that Bob's talking about, when I went in the kitchen this afternoon, it was on the floor. It's not even attached to the wall
Which one?
That's a problem.
today.
Which was
the
it?
red button?
No, not the button, the thing that says for emergency.
The
Oh, the
sign-
sign fell off?
The sign,
Oh, the sign
that
fell
said
off,
this
okay.
is the emergency.
And
button.
did you call
It was on-
Chris?
It was on the floor.
Did you notify Beth so she could call Chris?
No.
I want to, can I say,
So-
I didn't.
Mr.
The-
Chairman?
Let's,
One at a time.
I'll go to you and then I'll talk.
Oh, go ahead, finish.
The problem here in the past has been that you've come in with this list. Some of the stuff is older, but I won't go any further than that. But when something goes wrong in the building, somebody should be notifying Beth right away. Beth should be notifying Chris. That, we went through this 2 meetings ago about the chain of command for a problem. Okay, I have no problem with you bringing this up at the meeting, but if that plate fell off today, I'll bet you if I called Chris right now, he'll know nothing about it.
Could be.
Jim, it's never
But-
been attached. It's always been leaning against the wall.
Okay, fine,
That's
so,
an issue.
Beth does know about
And she does know about it.
so my question would be, has she notified Chris? Because Chris is the next in the chain of command, because the town owns the building more or less. We can make fixes here, but I think it's been fairly clear that the town owns the building. But let's move on to your,
I got another.
do you have, hold on, do you have an answer for the height of the red button? I think I made mention that the red button doesn't say if it's somebody told me it was the emergency shut-off for the gas.
It's usually the gas.
But I said, well, it's not labeled, it just says emergency shut-off. And that was how you started this paragraph
I
off.
did, exactly.
Is there a handicap accessible reason for it being low, or?
I think that's just where it fit.
Oh,
Was that any input from the Board of Health on that one, or was,
The signs were from inspectors.
okay. So you'd have to look into it, that's all.
So can we add to this particular item that the sign is not attached? If
I've got it.
You're gonna follow it through?
Yeah. Sign on the
Okay.
floor.
Your turn, Bob.
One other thing I'd like to talk about, I put this list together from information that I got from different people, I've looked at a lot of the stuff. And I don't know if you've been down to the senior center. Senior center's pretty busy, okay? And Beth and Saucy and the staff there have been right out straight. So I had a conversation with Beth that I'm representing on the building committee, the senior center. So I told her I'd take this off of her plate until the building was accepted. And these items were taken care of, if it's acceptable to the fellows here on the board.
So
I'm
you're,
asking you.
you want to change the chain of command, that if there's a problem, people have to come to you because Beth's too busy.
She is busy, yes, she is very busy.
So then what has to happen is.
She works in that office 10 to 12 hours a day.
I understand all that.
Okay, then that's what I'm telling you.
But she is the director there, it's her building, she is theoretically responsible from the town for that building.
Yes. And I asked her if it was okay with
So-
her.
What you want us to do, we should go to the town manager and see if the chain of command should change, that any problems, they don't go to Beth, I don't know why, but that's fine. They should go to you.
I think she needs to know about problems.
I
I
think,
didn't really say that. She needs to know what problems are, and she does know.
I'm on that same boat. She is the landlord of that
Absolutely.
building.
She's the
So-
owner of that
so
building.
I,
Correct.
let's keep it simple. I think what we're saying is, we just need authority from Mike or whoever to say it's okay for Bob to step in with her and keep her informed, but, so Chris can communicate
Right,
with
so
them.
you would-
So we're not like getting lost in the shuffle.
So we don't
That's all.
we don't wait 3 weeks for problems that we've had
Yeah.
in the past. You will call Chris and go,
I
Chris,
will.
Yeah,
the
that's
sign
fine.
just fell off the wall
I
for the
will.
emergency.
Yes.
Because every time Dan, the OPM, and I walked in the building, Beth would have 3 or 4 other things, and we go, well, when did this happen? Last week, 2 weeks ago. Well,
I know Chris is busy, so what I'll do is I'll get his email and I'll get his number.
Right, I
And I
mean-
can text him and I'll document what I say to him.
Yeah.
works for me. I don't have a
Because,
problem
you
with
know,
it.
Everyone's busy, we're all busy, we can say things, and sometimes it drops through the crack by mistake. And I won't say it, but there's other things that have gone on here with the project, because people didn't follow procedure, right? And I think you guys know that, so.
Bob Kimball?
My only comment on the whole procedure here is, has Chris seen this at all?
Chris has not seen that.
So that's the issue.
Yeah.
But
This stuff he should have this already. There's gonna come a point where we're not gonna be able to do anything here. Chris is gonna be the guy that's gonna have to do it. So when that happens, when there's an issue like this, all it is a click of a button from Beth, hey, Chris, here's a list of problems we got, gone. He can address them, or he can try to address them. I'm sure if he knew all the issues here tonight, he might even be here to talk about it. But if he doesn't know about it, he can't get addressed.
I will make sure, Bob, that he gets all this information, and I'll work close with him if Mr. Units lets me.
But instead of compiling it and making it one big major problem, along the way, we gotta let Chris know that the issue is there, so it can be addressed.
I understand that, Bob, and some of the things he is aware of, some of these things he's been told about. And I just want to make sure I work with him close enough so that we can get closure to it.
Yeah, I have no problem with a list, and at least we know what
Yeah.
you know, and that's been your complaint all along is communications.
Right.
Sure, Mr. Haas, you had a question?
To give an example, relating to Chris, he was notified about the outside faucets leaking, and he was told, and I heard.
Have we gotten to the outside faucets yet?
And wait a minute, he-
Have we gotten to the outside faucets yet?
you're talking about Chris having a list. The
Fine,
list
talk
is
about
here.
the outside
Read the
faucets.
next item, and you'll see that he said that's the way they work. No, you don't get a shower. They're malfunctioning, there are O-rings in there, that probably got gummed up when the line was initially.
So George, on the
He knows
complaints,
about these things, but he's not doing anything.
okay,
about it.
George, so the
So I
complaints,
stand with Bob, that he should be the one that's,
fine, so he can't fix them. So when
well, why?
Chris has a problem, and you don't like the way he fixes it, because you're the one that's the volunteer maintenance man there that brings up some of these issues, do we need a third-party arbitrator to arbitrate between you and Chris? Because Chris is telling the town and telling us that it's okay, like the antifreeze device on the faucets, which I told you, I have one and it squirts me when it works.
It's malfunction.
But whatever, maybe that plumber doesn't know what they're doing either.
That's right.
But
You don't know what
this
you're
coming
doing.
down to this meeting and arguing over problems,
I'm not arguing.
well, we are. Mr. Haas does not like the solutions Chris, the answers that Chris, and neither do you.
Sometimes, but I may not like them.
So, irregard, I don't want to get personal about this, but
Right.
he's obviously here because he's concerned, you're here with a list. Let's finish the list and move on.
Okay.
But everybody has an opinion and they're entitled to it. And if Chris is in charge of the maintenance, then
If he's the guy in
Chris
charge,
is
we need to let him know.
he's the one that has to do
We
it.
need to let
And
him
if I don't like it, that's too bad,
Yep.
as far as I'm concerned.
Jim, if I could for just a moment, before we continue with the list, I just want to remind everybody, because we went over this a couple times, as far as the communication on issues that happen down at the senior center. And it does happen on occasion, but obviously not always. What we said is, your issues as they come up should go to Chris Sonner, and we suggested doing it by email, copying myself and Ed so that we can monitor what's going on. And again, it has happened on certain occasions, and, you know, sometimes Chris is busy doing his other job. If we happen to see the item, and it appears that it is a contractor-related item, we've sent it to Seaver. But we won't always be sitting at our desks either. So that's why having a couple people on it for maybe even up to a year or so is fine. And it doesn't matter who it comes from. If you're the designate for Beth, then fine. If it's Beth, fine. It's got to come really from one person.
Right.
Because if we start getting emails from 10 different people,
Exactly.
it's going to get messy.
And I think it's acceptable to this committee that if you want to be the spokesperson, I'm sorry, because I have, Beth usually shows up at the meetings and she's not here tonight. Usually she voices it, but if you want to be the spokesperson, I don't think anybody on this committee has a problem with that, if it solves the problems. And we'll see. So let's move on. We were at the sink and the stove or something.
Yep.
Yes, the sink by the stove.
Sink by the stove, there's a wooden shelf, not a shelf, but it's a
It's a knee panel.
protection,
It's a knee
Cover.
panel.
right.
It's an ADA requirement.
It came, it fell off.
Okay.
And went to try to put it back on, can't get it on.
That's one that came in with a photograph. So Chris was gonna go down, we could see the attachment points on at least one side. So Chris was gonna go to see if that could just be put back on. We have not heard whether it's
Was it screwed
fixed or
on?
not.
As of today, has it been fixed, do you know, or it hasn't been
Like a
fixed?
I don't think it's
No, I
been
think it's
fixed.
some-
It hasn't been fixed.
It hasn't,
Better way to
you
do it.
think it hasn't been fixed?
I don't think it's.
Magnets, yeah.
Okay, next
Also,
item.
also behind that, there's like a 2-inch hole. And I don't know why the hole's there, but it needs to be plugged up
Is it into the wall or into the cabinet?
into the cabinet. There must be a cabinet right behind it, so it's gonna be the cabinet.
Well, it's covered when the thing's on, right?
It's not really covered. I mean, you
Okay.
can't see it, but it's not covered.
When the knee
The
panel's
panel
on?
obscures it.
That's what I mean.
Right.
I mean,
You can't see it. It's not covered.
I don't know if there's anything to do with it. Put a ring
Plug
on
it,
or
put a
something.
plug, just cover it.
Okay.
Okay, next.
Outside water faucets. You know, those have been bad since summer.
What's leaking? On the top of the handle?
I'm gonna explain to you. Those faucets, from what I can see, they're they're faucets for the outdoors. You know, they bleed down so they don't get iced up, right? And so when you go to open it, well, I didn't know that. When you go to open it, I thought it was the packing or something, because someone said it was leaking. So I went out to one side, I was gonna water the lawn and water the bushes that were out there. And when I went to turn it on, first of all, I had to find the key. I
Yeah.
had to finally have the key. Turned it on, but you can only turn it on kind of a notch at a time, because it hit, the key hits the nozzle there where it hooks on, so a little bit at a time. And as you do that, it's leaking out behind. It's got like holes there for the water to drain out in behind. You have to see it, but I got a picture of it in my phone, but in behind there, there's places for it to drain, I guess. I don't have a print for it, but that's what it looks like to me. Now, I don't know if that's coming from the packing, or if that's part of the bleed down process. It shouldn't be the bleed down process, because there's no, if they say that's right, I'd like to have the manufacturer come down and turn it on and took a shower like I took. Okay?
Makes sense.
So, anyway, these need to be fixed. I don't know what's wrong with them. It could, like George said, it could be dirt, it could be, I don't know what it is, but it's leaking, and it's leaking bad. It doesn't leak when you shut it off all the way, and it won't leak if you open it up all the way.
Just in between.
It's just in between when you're trying to open or close that nozzle,
Yeah.
so. but just-
Mr. Haas,
Yes, they're a freeze-protected valve, also an anti-siphon valve. And when you shut it off, that's when the water drains, not when you're turning it on and off.
Yeah, that gets the water out so it doesn't freeze, right?
Because you
Yeah.
have probably 12 to 18 inches of stem going back.
Mhm.
So the packing is back there, and any water that's gonna drain, it's gonna drain
Oh.
just not, just gravity drain, it's not gonna come with any pressure, because you shut the pressure off. But there is something wrong with the probably with the O-rings in it. They need to be attended to.
Okay.
Anyway, I think
Okay,
you guys
next item.
understand it. The screens, we talked about these before, and I know, Chris, I think, told me that the screens, that they know
Yeah,
about the screens.
they were on the major list, I
This-
believe, yes.
But this, so some screens that aren't right, and some of them, some fit right, some don't. And from what I saw on the ones that don't fit right, the reason why is the screens midway up, there's no pinholes, there's no pins to go in, number one. So when you put the screen in, you lift it up against another spring, hold it up, and set it in the bottom frame. But the screen is going like this, it has bent, some of them, from the wind or falling out or what, but they're bent. So they need to be fixed. I don't know how many of them, I didn't go around checking every single one in the building. But that's
So you've had the manufacturer, which is Quaker Window, come out and do a survey. So we don't have a date as to when the screens will be replaced, the damaged ones, but it's on, that's one of the items that's on the punch list. It's not a warranty item, it's on the punch list. That's of the 5 items that are still open.
While you're talking, Steve, I'd like to ask you a question. You're a pretty detailed guy. I like dealing with you. You're very detailed. And when you have to go around asking people to take care of something that has to be taken care of, right? Do you ask them? I know you do. Do you ask them to give me a complete, when are you gonna do that? You gonna do it today? You gonna do it tomorrow? You gonna do it next month? When are you gonna do it? We have to do that to understand when it's gonna get done.
You want dates for things?
Yeah, we asked that during the job meetings, the weekly
But
job
we need
meetings.
to document that.
Yeah,
And
we have meeting minutes.
I don't have any meetings with them. I don't know who they are. I don't know what they're doing with this list. It looks to me like this list doesn't even get touched.
Well,
But-
this,
Well, we just got this list,
But-
but the
But
screens are on our
there's
list.
been things on this, there's been things that I know has been communicated that haven't been taken care of. I'm not here to find fault, I'm here to try to work with everybody, with helping Beth out, and let's get this stuff done. We're happy with the building's nice, our people are happy with it, we just have to get these things done. The town spent a lot of money on these buildings. Matter of fact, it took some money out of my wallet. So, we're all into it, all of us. We just want to make sure it's right.
Okay, next item on your list?
Next item is in Beth's office, there's a crack above the window out to the front, and one of the safety straps, says safety strap, I don't know what the strap means, but I don't see a safety strap. I think it must be the safety, there's little clips that pop out, they're spring-loaded, and they come out, so that when you go try to open the bottom window, you can only open it this far. The safety, so nobody can come in, or nobody can fall out, or whatever, I don't know.
is this a crack in the wall above the window,
It's a crack, yeah.
in the sheet?
Drywall.
Yes, right in the corner. It's right in the corner,
That's a warranty.
left-hand
Warranty,
corner.
Yep,
And I,
those happen.
Yeah, I mean,
safety
I'm just-
strap,
yeah.
on-
I don't know if it's supposed to have one or not.
that could be the window.
I don't know.
Okay, next item?
Get the window lock.
I just put down, there's a number of windows, and I didn't want to go around and.
No,
number
the
each
window
one.
lock, you skipped one.
Yeah, I know the window lock, yeah. But there's a number of windows in the building that have issues with the lock, and also with the safety locks. Some of them missing, broken off. I don't know if they're broken or missing or whatever, but it looks like it had been there at one time, and it's gone. The windows-
Went to the building.
Yeah.
The windows are very, very hard to open and close. And, you know, I know that they're very hard to open and close. They're harder than they should be. I mean, you guys can come down and try it, but they're very hard. Now, I don't know if you can lubricate them, probably get some silicone spray. I don't know what you can do, but they're too damn hard to close. And sometimes you can't lock them unless you really get onto them and push them down in.
Okay.
The power went out was it last week? And that's a good thing, because we got to see the generator work. That was a nice thing. No, it really was. But we don't know down there what that generator runs. We don't know what it runs. I know that the red plugs are emergency plugs, and I don't know where they are. I know there's one hidden behind the ice machine. But like I mentioned, that and I told Chris this, the manufacturer, whoever put that thing in, or whoever owns that machine, whoever owns it, whoever is the manufacturer of that, they have, whoever set it up, they have a listing of what that generator runs, how many kilowatts and what they are that run on that generator. We need to have that list. We need to know what that thing runs, to make sure that there's no issues with it, that we can check.
I think that's probably not the generator installer person. It's more the, just let me finish.
Go ahead.
I think that's more the electrician that ran the wires from the generator. He knows where he put those wires and where those red plugs might be hiding. But, I mean, they're red plugs, so they should be seen somewhere, but, so we should get some kind of diagram from the electrician where the emergency power plugs are, I
Right.
guess.
Or he should go by circuit. That was gonna be my question.
Should be on the emergency panel.
When we bought this generator, right, originally it was gonna be life safety only, but then we upgraded, right? To a certain amount of power, or no?
No.
Okay, so we just need to know what panel is tied to that and what that panel feeds, and there should be a panel schedule, right?
There's an emergency panel and the emergency electrical.
So is that something Chris could answer for
No,
Bob?
I think the electrician might have to answer it, but.
Well, I think this question came up previously, way back,
Mhm.
and I believe that it was either this building or the senior center, or both. I believe that information was provided, because that was a question that came up, but it would have been provided to Chris.
Correct.
It's on the.
Mr. Haast?
Well, it is on the prints too, but a cheat sheet basically was provided.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like a
So-
panel schedule. Because don't forget, it doesn't power the entire building.
No,
Correct.
I know that.
Okay.
I know
The
that.
receptacle's all red.
Yes, correct.
The thing is, how much of the lighting is on the generator? When it-
Aren't there emergency lights in the,
Well, the exit lights automatically go onto the generator, onto their own batteries.
Bob?
I work for Cummins Onan, I don't know if you folks know that or not, but they sell generators, 2 megas, 1 mega, and I know that when those generators are installed for the customer, they go over what they run. It's programmed, and they can change those programs. There's some emergency equipment that's run, mostly if it's a standby, that's all it'll run is emergency. And it will only run so much emergency because it's not big enough to run the whole building. So there is information, but we really need to, people need to know, the people, the staff people need to know what that is. We don't know what it
So,
is.
was there owner training done on the generator?
Yes.
And who was that, Chris?
didn't we
Chris
have,
for sure, I don't know who else attended.
didn't we have classes or
Yeah,
videos?
training.
that-
I'm gonna
that
talk about
Beth
that.
was-
I'm gonna talk about that too.
Okay, but Beth was supposed to attend those classes
I'm gonna talk about it.
and know what is involved in the building, because she is the town employee responsible in person in the building, that she can refer to Chris. But you're gonna go down
I
your
have to
list,
take my
so.
hat off to her, because boy, I'm telling you, she can do more, from what I hear here, than any person alive. Because doing all that training and doing the work that she does and putting the hours in that she does, I'm surprised she's still walking. So that's,
I'm not gonna get into what responsibilities town employees have,
Okay, you just did
because
though.
it's in their job description. And she wanted a new building, she's got a new rebuilding, she's responsible for that new building.
She is.
So
I think
it is what it is,
they're just, she may
and
not.
it's not, and I'm gonna say it now and get in trouble, but it's not a way to get new staff. She's got 10 volunteers running around that building,
Jim, I see
getting in their way, so don't tell me she's up to here
I
with
want you
stuff.
to-
Hold on.
George, go ahead.
On the electrical emergency panel, that has a transfer switch, and only that, everything going into that particular panel will be energized when the utility drops out and the generator kicks in.
Correct.
That panel is energized
Correct.
by the generator, and then when the power comes back, when the utility comes back, it drops out and it is normal. There should be one panel, at least one panel, that is designated for the generator.
There is.
There is.
And it can't be programmed, it is, whatever's in
hardwired.
there is, it is what it is.
It goes directly to the generator with the transfer switch will be.
Yep.
And in the orientation of the
design.
building, and I'm gonna go back to this, that I have heard at these Tuesday meetings that they're on video and they're everything else, and you alluded to Beth having to attend them. She should have gotten somewhere in that meeting a list of where the emergency stuff is.
Really?
Now, there should be an as-built to that anyway, right?
Yes, yes.
So
I
let's
think, I
not-
think the disconnect
Okay.
here is, let me finish for a second. Beth is busy, we get it. Beth is not responsible for the maintenance. Chris is. We gotta make sure that Chris understands everything. If he's not understanding and he missed that meeting, then we have to deal with that. She should only say, Chris, something's broken, fix it. That is my understanding, right?
Thank you.
That's
Yes.
information.
Mr. House,
Okay,
Questions?
again, if you want to know what's going to be energized, find the emergency panel, and look at the index card, and it'll tell you everything on it.
And it's
you know,
all there and labeled.
Yeah.
You know,
It's
you
that's
can
what
look at
it's
the
for.
prints, or you can look at the index card
So-
on that emergency panel.
So that's part one. I think part two, what you're saying is, you may not know where the outlets are.
They're red.
But, yeah, correct, but if they're hidden behind a desk or a chair, nobody knows. So the question is, where's the as-built drawings? So that you and Beth and whoever have an understanding where they are. And if you have to put a sticker on the wall,
Right,
then
exactly.
fine, do that. Because I agree with you, sometimes they're hidden, they're obscure, you can't see them.
I'll
Mr.
assure
Haas.
you, they're behind the refrigeration, because you want the refrigeration.
You want those ones there on purpose, yeah.
But how many others emergencies? You go in a
There's
hospital.
probably only a few in the building.
There aren't that many.
There's not that many, remember, it's not designated for power.
No, it's only,
It's only life safety, minimum power, just to keep the refrigerators from, and freezers from defrosting. So
okay, let's move down the list.
okay.
That's all. Backyard heading down.
The
to one.
drawings for the building and the yard or whatever. Electrical, plumbing, all the prints, so if you need to look and find, just like the water outlets outside, where do you turn those off? I don't know where to turn them off. If the end blows off that or leaks or whatever, how are you supposed to know how to turn it off? I don't know.
Chris has all that
Chris
information.
has
All the as-built drawings,
So-
O and M
so-
manuals are
so-
all with Chris.
It sounds like Chris has the information, he hasn't shared it with anybody
And I
else.
think we supplied 2 copies.
I'm gonna
Yes,
mention
2 hard
something, and
copies and
tell me if
electronic.
you think this is right. I think all those prints, all those drawings need to be at the center, in a place locked up until they're needed, so they're not being lost.
Come on, digital, right?
And if Chris needs keys, he gets
2
keys.
thumb drives and 2
Can
hard
I-
copies.
Thumb drives?
Are you
Two
done?
thumb drives and-
Are you done? I don't want to interrupt you. Are you done?
Yeah, I mean, I said what I
It
want.
was my understanding in some of these meetings that we were getting 2 copies of everything. And
Correct.
one
Yes.
It's
one
been
was in
submitted.
the senior center, and one was to Chris.
Could I back up a minute? Maybe this will help everybody understand. First of all, before the town accepted the project, which has already been done, by the way, I just want to set the record straight on that. Building's been accepted by the town. What's outstanding are the 5 punch list items that Steve mentioned earlier in his OPM report, and anything that comes up as a result of a warranty issue within a 1-year warranty period. Okay? As part of that process, the as-built, the O&M manuals, the electronic and the hard copy versions were all transferred to the town as a result of going through the demonstration and training on all the systems. Chris was the point person designated by the town to attend, and he invited others as they saw fit. Okay, so anything that's operational on this that you guys aren't aware of, you need to communicate with him. Anything that comes up that wasn't pointed out earlier, that now is broken, that comes down the chain as we discussed earlier in the meeting, that gets kicked to the contractor to fix during the 1-year warranty period as a defect in the building, which they own. If it wasn't on the punch list, it's a warranty item.
Screens, warranty.
They were on the punch list.
Yeah.
Right.
They're not a warranty item.
No, okay. What about the door?
The door's a warranty item.
Warranty item.
The defective hardware that you mentioned, that's sharp on the bag, is a warranty item. They've already ordered the parts. We're just waiting for them to come and make
And
the
the faucets,
replacements.
would they be warranty?
The faucets are warranty, yeah. But first, back to the chain, Chris has to determine that it's not a result of, I'm gonna say, everyday,
Wear and
Wear and
tear.
tear,
right.
Yeah, so we
Like
can't
the
break
panel,
it.
if the panel got bounced by somebody in the facility, that's not really a warranty item, unless the clips that hold it on were defective.
Correct.
Mr. Chairman, does Chris know who to contact, different vendors to contact if there's an issue? Does he have a list of those people?
Yes.
Part of the
It's part of
manual.
So
Part of the O&M
when he gets a
manual.
call about a handle being
Yes.
defective, he, Chris himself, that's his job, can get on the phone and call the manufacturer and say, can you come send someone down to look at the windows,
Well-
look at the handles?
so-
and that'd be
And
done.
I can see Bob's frustration and the people at the senior center, because let's take the handles. We knew about the handles 3 months ago. We knew it was a warranty item. It's a subcontractor warranty item that we've got to wait for the part. There's no way this board or these gentlemen can speed that up. And it becomes very frustrating when, like the handles, we've been dealing with it, well, some of us have been dealing with it for 3 months, because we walked through there 2 months ago, and we felt it, and we knew about it, and it's getting fixed, but it's showing up on your list as if we ignored it, which we did not, okay? And yet some of these other items, we're waiting for the subcontractor, and that's my frustration, is waiting. They do not jump through hoops immediately. Yes, we are $1 million customer, but they have $1 million customers, and they don't really care. And getting them back, as much as I vocalize on Tuesdays, and as much as you and other people vocalize once a month, is not gonna make them like the screens. I thought and the windows, my personal feeling was, I thought the building was supposed to be environmentally encapsulated, so we shouldn't be opening the windows, as far as I'm concerned, because you have air conditioning and heating. So it's contradicting the air conditioning and heating by opening windows. Yes, we gave you the excuse, and I'll use it as an excuse on the windows, is that they haven't been used. The subcontractor for the windows showed up maybe 1 or 2 days, fixed a couple of screens, not all of them, probably did nothing with the opening and closing of the windows, because he's probably got muscles in his knuckles and he didn't have a problem. I feel now that Chris, and we will try to, and I'll make the motion somewhere, that if there's a problem that somebody's coming in to fix, that you get notified, because you're gonna be the contact person.
Watch it.
Because Beth is too busy and everybody else is too busy, that they notify you so that you can go in and say, that window doesn't work, that window doesn't work, and let them try it, so that you're not coming back to us, even though the building is owned by the town, with an itemized list of problems. And I think that's the way we can solve this, but I have maybe become very lackadaisical that the earth doesn't move as much. I worked in emergency medicine for 45 years. I came to your house at 2 o'clock in the morning. If you had something wrong, I fixed it at 2 o'clock in the morning. You were done. I was done with you by 3 o'clock in the morning. Getting a faucet fixed takes 6 months. Getting a hot water fixed that came to us defective with a defective part that they knew about, and then we have other problems, and now try to get it replaced, we try to give the subcontractors a couple of tries at fixing it, and then we get upset and say, like, if we have trouble with the hot water heater again, it's no longer you're gonna fix it, it's gonna be, we refuse to, or the town should refuse to accept it. But I just want you to know the frustration I have. I've listened to you, I've listened to Mr. Haas, I've listened to Beth. I express my displeasure to the engineer and to Vertex, and to the OPM that's on site, but these people, you can't push, it's not like trying to push your son or daughter to do something. They don't, George orders something tonight, he gets it tomorrow on his front porch.
Yep.
We order handles, we don't get it for 6 months. I don't get it, but that's life. It is what it is.
But Jim brought up a good point. You have to give subs opportunity to fix it. You can't just take the work away from them. That's another can of worms.
Right, and
but-
I get that, I worked with the public, okay, with service, I have.
I agree.
And I understand priorities, right? But that's the reason I put right in the front of this, we need to get a guesstimate, if you will, on when it will be completed. Now, like Steve just told us, the hot water tank's gone, we're gonna have a wait. I mean, he can't guarantee anything, but at least you got an answer.
No, I
Best a
understand.
guesstimate, right? And that's what we're just asking, so we can
So-
follow it.
Okay.
If we keep getting that same answer, then we need to do something. This contractor, he's happy as a clam, he's been paid. We wrote off on this thing, and we accept this bill.
He didn't got final payment yet.
Isn't good fun.
They haven't got final
He hasn't got
payment.
final payment, how much you holding back? You're not holding anything back.
We're holding
No,
money
we're
back.
holding money
Why are
back
you-
on 'em.
Why are you saying we
It's
aren't
like
holding
5%.
How much
anything
we
back?
holding back? Enough to make them, enough to make them stay
3
steady
or
with getting this
5%.
place
Why,
fixed?
why do you think we had a meeting last week that I went over in the meeting with trying to close this project out? So we are being fiscally responsive on this project, and I don't really appreciate the accusations.
And I don't.
And I will
either.
correct something else that was just said. Not all the subcontractors are just not caring about coming back here. As a matter of fact, that plumber came back 3 or 4 times now within a day for that hot water.
I didn't say
And
that.
the other thing is, no one knew that there was a faulty part in that water heater until something went wrong. No one sent that knowing that there was a faulty part. So I want to make sure, because this is being recorded,
I know.
that is not out there in the public.
Steve, I never
That's-
said
That's
that.
incorrect.
I never said that. That never come out of my mouth, I don't think.
Well, you did say you didn't think we were holding anything back.
I didn't think you were. I thought when we settled for the project, it was settled.
We have a
And then what you're
monetized
gonna
punch
do-
list and we're holding the appropriate values back until
Yeah.
they're
We
satisfactory.
got over $200,000.
That's fine.
You got a figure that you're happy with.
I think we're being dead horse.
Okay, yes.
All right. 'cause
One more question from George, and we're gonna move down the list.
I just, thank you for that 200,000. I just wanted a ballpark
Yeah.
number. Thank you. It's substantial.
Okay, next item on your
So
list.
before we go any further, I think at the next meeting, if this is gonna come up again, Chris needs to be here.
Yeah.
Because we're all pointing fingers at Chris. It's his job
It is,
to get this to them.
okay?
And if that's not happening,
Not even to
that's a
us.
problem.
That's not a problem with me.
No, I know. And then, let's
I
keep
mean-
going, because the trees here, that's not our responsibility, that's town maintenance.
Okay.
Take that off the list,
All right.
because it's getting, to the point we're picking on things that aren't even our
Okay.
responsibility.
That's all.
On your comment about the trees, how much of that came under site work?
It's outside the limits.
It's outside the limits, if a tree falls down in the woods, it's not our responsibility. This sounds like a tree fell down.
These were trees that were outside the...
We're outside that footprint, and if they fell over in a storm, it's town
Some are
maintenance.
just laying up against it.
It's the highway department.
Yeah, it's,
Oh, no, the site was prepared
And it
by
was-
the contractor, was it not?
those trees were outside the work area.
All right, because they're really, it is dangerous. And-
I'm not saying it's not dangerous.
And the next door, a butter, has major trees like this. I don't know how you're gonna address.
We can't do anything with the abutter, it's on our property.
But you-
Write them a letter. We tried to contact them to buy their land. They ignored us, so whatever happens over there, don't go on
Okay,
their
I
property.
don't want this
No,
meeting to
it's
go
just getting out of control with things that are out of our control.
Brian,
Keep moving.
Brian, next item on your list.
Okay, the next item on the list is the food pantry. The floor tile, tile between where the refrigerators are, the archway on the floor. I don't know what's under it, but something's under it, because some of the tiles are up higher than the rest of them. And also by where the doors, like where the doors come down to the floor, they're all over it, they're not nice and neat, you know, up.
That's a possibility, yeah.
Yeah,
I think
so I
so.
mean-
They'll look at it.
Yeah, so I mean, okay.
Could be a warranty issue.
The rubbish container, the enclosure, they've taken and on the asphalt, and they've actually poked a hole down through the asphalt to put the pipes in to close and lock the door. That needs to have a metal sleeve in it, or it's gonna tear up the asphalt. In the same way, when you open the doors, it poked holes in the asphalt when you open the doors to put the pipes down to hold the door in place so it doesn't blow closed. So both of those need to have sleeves
Can
put
bring
in
that
them.
one. That makes sense. I mean, I know what you're saying, the metal sleeves.
Okay, next.
Well, you skipped one. I think you went over the cafeteria chip.
Oh, yeah, the cafeteria, there's a chip, there's a big
looked at that.
chip in the floor. I've seen it for a while, but I didn't say anything, but there's a big chip in the floor. And there's a couple of them there, and so, I mean, I just moved furniture to look for the other ones, but I know there's a couple there, but they need to be fixed.
There was one chip that we were sent in the floor that was looked at by the flooring guy who was gonna come back and
Okay.
replace it when he got the material.
Okay.
If that's the same one, I
Yeah.
thought it was a
So-
multi-purpose.
Well, that's one there that I saw,
So
it's right
this,
there.
an item like this, you need to be very careful of, because
You know, they're
if
gonna
somebody
say
drops a
drop
hammer,
something or
it's not,
smash it. No,
you
it's
only
not.
get so many bites at the apple.
No.
That's
I
all I'm
don't-
saying. So if when he
Yeah, I-
comes back to fix one, hopefully he fixes any other one that we see. After that, he's gonna take photos of everything, and if there's another chip later, he's
I
gonna
don't
say it's not
blame
my
him.
problem, because that's just the way it's gonna go.
And Bob,
That's all.
you're in the building more than most people in this room. My suggestion to you, as far as the chip goes, is get some painter's tape, put it down on the
I'll take
I
a
think
photo
I
of it.
mentioned, I'll do
so that
that.
we can find it, because you don't know, you know there's chips, but even you don't know where they are.
Exactly, yeah, you have to move some furniture.
Okay, let's move
I'll
on
do
to the
that.
next item.
Okay, we already talked about, no, we didn't talk about this. The heating in the building, it's been a complaint for quite some time. And sometimes the building's cold, sometimes the building's hot. And I know that it hasn't been neglected, don't get me wrong. All I'm saying is, you know, Beth has said this is a problem because, you know, you can't get the heat right, you go to adjust it, and it's either cold or it's hot or this or that. So I put down here, I don't know what the problem is. It could be in the morning, maybe the heat's turned back, so it doesn't come on until 9 o'clock. I don't know what it is.
So it could be a programming issue.
It could be programming, it could be, I put down here, I think they need to understand how the system works. And secondly, they need to understand how to adjust it. Because I don't think they really know how to adjust it and know what the problem is.
Chris is the only one that's been designated to
That's a
adjust
Chris, okay.
or
Everything on
monitor
here is a Chris, okay.
temperatures through the
Okay.
building management system.
I think a lot of the stuff Chris needs to be made aware of, because I think your frustration is you're feeling you're being ignored, and it's directed towards a
That's-
lot of us, and it's really,
I
I
don't-
think.
I don't want
and
you to-
No, don't take it the wrong way. What I mean is, I think Chris is being bypassed or not informed, and I think a lot of this, he
You're
could
right.
have addressed.
I think you're right.
That's all.
I think it's a shambles.
I can feel the
on every
frustration
place
of-
We're not
yeah.
talking to each other. But-
Okay, Mr. Haas.
Yeah.
One other item that Bob didn't have on his list, the flagpole.
Oh, I meant to put that on
I
there.
adjusted the cover for the Hilliard clip. And in noticing on the cover, there are 2 screw holes apparently for a gasket to stop any snow or ice or rain to go down into the
The pole.
enclosure.
Where the lanyard's stored.
The door did not close properly, it closes properly now. And the flag is,
That's,
the Hilliard is installed properly now.
And I think I thanked you for that.
You did.
But I'm glad you mentioned it again to make me look bad. Is there anybody else have anything else to say?
thank you for listening.
I will let you know, Bob, that we will be meeting Tuesday morning. I will bring a copy, if you have an extra copy, you had a bunch of
I don't know if you got
them.
30 episodes.
Yeah, I got a couple here.
Okay, I will bring a copy to Chris. I'm sure Steve will, but I will personally hand 2 copies to Chris and see where we go from there. But I will also be inviting him to the next board meeting so that you can express your frustrations to him, because I'm sure none of this is gonna get handled before then.
Yeah.
But I hate to say that, but that's probably the truth. You're gonna be told on half of them, that's the way it is, which whoever's doing the complaining is not gonna accept that answer. But, I'm not gonna get a third party in here between Chris and whoever's
Right,
doing
I'll have to deal
the
with Chris.
complaining.
Yeah.
I think sooner or later, you're gonna have to accept what Chris says. Because if we get somebody in to fix it, and they say it's fixed, but an outside source says it's not fixed, I mean, who are we supposed to listen to? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean,
It's like going to lawyers and getting opinions.
Yep.
You go to 7 different plumbers, you're gonna get 7 different opinions,
No, you're not.
so. Okay, is there any other business before, we gotta finish with the town hall, correct?
Oh, we finished the senior center, we're done with this, right?
I'd like
we
to
are.
say one thing, Steve, I don't want you to think that I'm trying to point fingers at you, I'm not.
Good.
I am not. I appreciate everything you've done, I appreciate how you did it, and Ed, and Brian, all of you guys. I just want to make sure we got a handle on this stuff, and I think that working together, working with Chris, we can take the list and take things off of it to get done, and maybe Jim just said, that, maybe some of these things are dead issues, I don't know, we're gonna find
Well,
out.
like the as-built drawings, that should be, already have them. You made the
What?
window with the as-built drawings, drawings of all the building systems?
Yes.
You have that information, you personally might not have it, Chris does,
Right.
in some fashion. I think a meeting with you and Chris,
Yes.
and whoever else needs to be trained, should happen first, because I feel like he knows everything, or should, and it's not communicating to you, and that's why you're frustrated.
Right.
But they followed the process, trust me, if they didn't,
I'm sure
I'd
that,
be the first one to call them out on it.
I believe it.
Mr. Haas?
One other-
Thank you.
Something that bothers me tremendously is I'm being told that if a water line to a $2,000 coffee operation, grinder and coffee maker is installed, it voids the $11 million warranty.
No,
Is that
that's
what I
not,
heard from you?
that wouldn't avoid $11 million warranty.
Why can't somebody attach a line, put a T in that line after the filter for the ice maker, to filter the water to the ice maker, to the
Coffee machine.
coffee maker? And the people would have
You
continuous
you have
hot
two
water.
issues, if I could. One, you're during the warranty period.
I-
So anybody other than the plumbing contractor who plumbed that building touches it, it'll void the warranty on the plumbing system.
A hold system?
Yeah.
Not the entire building.
No, the coffee maker system, whatever touches
Yeah,
it.
we know that.
It's not gonna avoid the bathrooms.
No, I
but
mean,
yeah.
we know.
Right.
Could we get
This-
this plumber to come in and install that T in the line?
It's an additional cost that the town has to be willing to do.
It's gonna be a change order
I'll pick it up.
that in a year from now, you can do for almost nothing, that the town will end up paying $5,000 or more for. Because there's a couple of things I want to do in a couple of buildings, but I have not brought them up, because every time we bring something up, it costs more money, and it costs more than what
Normal.
normal,
Well,
what
don't-
you or I can go out
Don't
and pay
forget,
for.
you have to pay prevailing
So we
wage
wait
on
a
this
year,
project.
we
It's
wait
not-
a year, like I told you 6 months ago.
You do with-
Well,
We
even
wait
if
a
somebody
year,
else, anything coming
And
forward.
you can come in a year and a day afterwards and redo the whole plumbing,
No, I can't.
redo the whole
No, I
electric to what you feel is right.
Pull a permit.
And I'm ending that now, let's move on to the town hall.
Thank you.
I'm hungry.
After the 1 year, you can do whatever you want. Let's just leave it that way.
That's what he was told 6 months
After a
ago.
year.
No.
Could we move on to the
Any
town
work
hall?
on a municipal building has to be done at prevailing wage.
Unless it's under a certain value, isn't it?
Unless a
$10,000.
plumber volunteers
Correct.
his labor, and there's no payment.
Yeah.
You have to be very careful of that. You can't just hire a guy down the street.
A plumber or a plumber volunteer?
Licensed
Any
plumber.
Licensed plumber.
Any plumber?
A
Yeah.
licensed
Licensed plumber.
Licensed plumber?
Licensed plumber, and they would have to pull a
You
permit.
could attach that pipe?
Not for a year.
and he pulls the permit.
That's-
I thought
see,
you were
the-
talking before.
No, after a year.
I thought no.
No, what my point was that if you hire someone and you pay him, you have to pay him at prevailing wage,
Oh,
because
yeah,
it's a
yeah.
municipal
We're
building.
union man.
And you have to pull a permit.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the town has to authorize it,
Yeah. A lot
because
of,
it's a town building.
Right, you're getting into big muddy water here. Could we go
Okay,
on
yeah,
to the
yeah, yeah.
town hall?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, continuing on with the town hall progress from the last PBC meeting, which again was in October. M. O'Connor has reduced their punch list to 24 items out of the 580 as of the November 26th review by Ed. As we've discussed before, the Plaza concrete as installed has been rejected. M. O'Connor is looking to have someone else do that work, and it will not be until the spring because of the temperature. HVAC commissioning is complete. M. O'Connor is about 97% complete with their overall project through November, the end of November. We did have the ribbon cutting here at the town hall on the 14th. Phase 2, which is the mainly the site work around the old town hall and the fire station. Site work grading binders, sidewalks, and curbing has been installed. We did find a latent water line, which was cut and capped by the contractor after coordination with the water department. The old town hall demolition. At this point, the basement and the roof abatement has been completed. The trades have been working on cutting and capping of the utilities that span between the two, the fire station and the old town hall. The fire department's antenna guy wire relocation, that's been a little bit of a discussion for the last probably 4 weeks now. There's been multiple discussions with Industrial Communications, who is the town's antenna service company, along with their engineer and the contractor and DBBW, and Vertex, and the fire department. Long story short, the relocation of 2 of the antennas are going to be placed on the chimney with a wraparound bracket, and the other 2 antennas are going to be lowered to a 30-foot height on the existing mast, and that mast is going to be cut to that 30 feet. There are a number of other antennas on that mast that are no longer used, so it only ends up being 4. We just got the engineered shop drawings and calculations this past Friday for that, for review by the engineer of record, not for approval, but just for review and make sure everything looks good. This is delegated design. And we were hoping to get final pricing on the demolition today from M. O'Connor, because they did have to add the antenna portion to their price. So hopefully we're getting it tomorrow.
so, just to clarify, the fire department has antennas on the town hall building.
They have the guy wire for the
The guy
mast
wire, okay.
is the only thing. So we couldn't demolish the
Yeah,
building
because
until we.
it'd fall over. We have to find a
Yeah.
way to, yeah.
Yep, so we have, originally it was looking to be a much more expensive option. It's gotten better.
That's good.
As more people have put ideas together and put some thought into it.
Okay, good.
So that's where we are right up until the end of last week. Progress photo documentation, first couple photos are from the ribbon cutting and the special plaque that was presented to Jim Slattery with the signatures and his what was it, a terrazzo mosaic
Yeah.
plaque. Next 2 photos, just installation of the binder at the front parking lot and curbing around the fire department lot. And this sort of goes back to November. Most of this presentation I had ready for the last meeting that we didn't have.
Yeah.
And then the next 2 photos, just the abatement contractor setting up his containment. They haven't started the abatement yet because we can't go into that containment once they start. So that's just the poly sheeting. M. O'Connor's schedule look ahead, continue with landscaping maintenance. I understand that there may be a couple of new trees that were planted that have been blown down. Replacing the plaza concrete, as I mentioned, completing their items on the punch list for the new town hall, getting their closeout documents, O&Ms, warranties, and as-bills completed and submitted to Chris. Continue the Phase 2 site work, which was under the base contract, which is pour the remaining sidewalks, install the light poles, there's a monument sign, and the bollards at the fire department memorial. Landscaping and pavement top coat is being deferred to spring of 2025. The old town hall is completing the prep for demolition, finalize the fire department antenna relocation, and demolish the town hall section of the building. At post that, it'll be rebuilding that outside wall. Question?
So the site work, so are we at a standstill till the spring? Are the structures low enough where we can park there, or no? Can they park there, in the binder?
They're gonna be using this section of the pavement as their laydown and their demolition area, and also the lot directly in front of the old town hall.
So it sounds like we're probably not sending demo till at least January anyway, because you gotta get the antenna straightened out.
Yeah, they've had it
And then
on
it's
their
what, 2
schedule for
months to demo?
December, but I would say that was probably.
So we're talking about March by the time they're finishing anyway?
The earliest.
Yeah, and then pave right after. That's
21 weeks, so
Yeah.
we're into April, May.
April, May, yeah, good, perfect.
The reconstruction is the longest piece?
Yeah, when you tear the wall down?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, everybody talks about the town hall demo, but that's the smaller part
Correct.
of what
It's
that
the-
work
it's
is,
the
it's building
The
the outside
construction
wall.
of the new exterior wall
Yeah,
and
makes sense.
egress staff from the basement.
Yep,
Okay,
because we're going from foundation to roof
I get it.
on 2 stories with that,
What
with
the
that exterior wall.
connection was, yeah.
Yep. Other issues that have come up, the audio-visual, we've gotten the shop drawings from ProAV, who is the contractor not under M. O'Connor, the town's contractor for audio-visual. They are now under review by Ascentech and the town being Ray Cord. There was additional work that was requested for the select board meeting room and the media room that's being priced. Also, that we're waiting for. We have a rough draft of the pricing, but there is still a couple of pieces that need to be put on it. And we've actually forwarded that to Ray for his review. The fire department antennas, sort of recap of what I just said. Again, we got engineered drawings and calculations on the 13th of December. The other issue is similar to what I said for the senior center, the digital sign. We did get the quotes for that. I got 1 quote back after the revision for the size. I'm waiting for Sinorama's quote so that we can compare the two and get them started, provided that if it's approved.
Any questions?
That's all I have.
I will add that I was in the old town hall today, and the temporary petitions are up, and they're starting to put the insulation in the temporary positions. The fire department is happy with the spacing. We have a scrapper coming in, taking out some of the old file cabinets, but the planning board and the building department have moved full file cabinets into where the fire department expects to be, so I don't think the scrappers are gonna take that. I don't know that, they come in once a day and take 1 trailer full of stuff. And they've done a pretty good job on the cellar and the first floor, and the highway department came in last Thursday and got rid of like 90% of the papers into a 30-yard dumpster, so as far as emptying the building, we're doing pretty good at that. So because of the delay of demolition, because of the antenna, the building should be ready for demolition by the time they're ready to demolish. So,
Good.
any other questions? Okay, the thing we have to do is meet next month. I would like to ask permission to change from Monday nights to another night, as I'm committed on Monday nights, and
When that
That's
works
why.
for you guys.
And obviously, there's enough meeting rooms in this building, even though they've turned 2 of them into offices already. Well, one of them's a construction office, but the other one has become the human resources office. So we went from having 6 meeting rooms down to 4, so.
January 23rd,
What day is that?
Thursday.
Anybody have a problem with January 23rd?
Yes, I do.
What?
I do.
Steve does. Got another
I
plan?
have a
Is there a
couple.
better day, Steve, than Thursday?
Um,
Or just that Thursday?
Well, Tuesday's not good that week.
With the 28th?
Wednesday may be okay?
29th, Wednesday?
No.
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
22nd.
22nd.
Tuesday.
Anybody have a problem with the
28th looks all right.
22nd, Wednesday, night at 6 o'clock here?
Hearing none?
Seeing none, I
So-
will take a motion to have the next meeting. We don't need to, I'm just announcing the next meeting.
Yeah.
So I'll take a motion to close unless there's, anybody else wants to speak about anything? Okay, take a motion to close.
Make a motion to close the meeting.
Second from somebody.
I'll second it.
Okay, all those in favor, raise your hand. All those not, you're not gonna be recognized. Okay, thank you.